Welcome, friends. Today, we are gathered to pay thanks and homage to one of my very favorite fragrances, who has given its life for the highest of causes, making me smell well. God bless you, Luciano Pavarotti, and your fucking sensational perfume. Finished this bottle off today, and as we know, it is a fucking massive occasion when one of us finishes a bottle. A huge deal. And that's what's happened here. It is made all the more remarkable by the fact that this is a 125 ml bottle. Absolutely fucking magnificent. What incredible service this has given over the last 5 years. I thought about reviewing it today, but then I decided against it because I couldn't spray anymore because I'd sprayed it all on myself. I mean, I know it inside out anyway, you know. So maybe next year when I crack open a new bottle, I'll review it then. But for now, thank you, Pavarotti. Thank you for all you have given. So much love. Yes, today, friends, I finished a bottle off, and it was this. Pavarotti. What a fragrance. What a fucking fragrance this is, by the way. Indeed, it has provided incredible service. This is my first bottle of about 9. I'm not entirely sure how many I've got, but it comes out at somewhere near 10. You know, so I've got over a litre of this shit. And as we have seen, I intend to use it, and do use it. It's fucking sensational. But it's always a weird or unusual experience when somebody with a collection finishes a bottle, isn't it? You know? Like, it's not an everyday occurrence. Like, you'd be lucky if you finish a bottle once every 5 years. You know? If you've got over 100 bottles, right, it's very, very, very hard to finish one. Jaunty Juan? F? Oh dear. No, this bottle will be going to my bottle graveyard. I've got a little bottle graveyard. It's not very big. There's like 2 or 3 bottles in it. You know? I've got a tobacco wood in there, which might not surprise you. I've got... If you only use one perfume, it's not that hard. No, Paul DeFema, you're absolutely spot on. But if you've got nigh on 400 like I have, then it's very hard to finish any, isn't it? You know? Very hard. Oh well. What can we do, eh? It was sarcasm, Dave, says Pradeep. Dev. Time to call a noosh, says Pradeep. That's right. Ooh, Jaunty Juan. Jaunty John. In Paradisium deductante angeli. I did some consolidating myself on bottles, says Supply and Demand. Jonathan, welcome. And how much time did you finish it? It was about 4 or 5 years, I want to say. Maybe 6. You know? I used to go easy on the sprays, but now I don't. I'm not going to go easy on the sprays on anything anymore. Pradeep is wearing Cologne Aficionale. How do you find it, mate? I've bought a bottle, and it should be here sometime in the next week. I'm looking forward to it. I did some consolidating myself. What did you consolidate, Supply and Demand? You should make a shrine for all of your empty bottles. It's not a bad idea, that, actually. John Hodge. Hello. Hi, Rich. Long-time observer from afar. Hello. Thank you for commenting. On the subject of vintages, have you had any previous experience with Halston Z14? Honestly, no. I don't know that I've ever smelled a Halston fragrance. I might actually have a mini, but I have no experience, like, off the top of my head to tell you. There should be someone in the chat. In fact, Ramsey. If Ramsey turns up, he will be able to tell you, I believe. Maybe Jonathan. Jonathan, who commented before, he might be able to tell you. It's a very popular fragrance, though. Or a nouge. I'll bear it in mind if any of these people turn up. If anybody in the chat wants to share some wisdom with John, then I would appreciate it greatly. Richard, you should smell Athenian from Healy. Maybe I should. It's a green fig. I like fig. How much is a fair price for What About Adam, Mitch? Under 100 quid. Under 100 quid, mate. Next buy is one I forgot I wanted a while ago. Jeroboam Goza. I've got 3 samples of Jeroboams, and I'm looking forward to trying them, actually. Does the ferry, the Swanwood, welcome to you. How are you? Does the Ferre Colomberger motto evolve much? I've read it's pretty linear. No, I don't think it evolves at all, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm looking forward to wearing that soon, actually. This was full. I only wore it twice last year. Look at the hiding I gave it. Massive. I'll put some on now. Oh, God, it's lovely. It's just light and fresh and green and bergamoty. I'll tell you what it reminds us of. Where is Masculine by Dolce & Gabbana? It should be here somewhere. It should be here somewhere. It's not looking good, Brev. Where is it? There it is. I'm gonna say goodbye, Pavarotti. Oh, it's so nice. And what a bottle. quite surprising it's a new release. Very nice. Me like it. Reminds me a bit of Heritage, unshowered guy who wore Fougère Royale. It's beautiful, I think. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Michael John says, I hate to admit this, but with this crazy humidity and heat here in South Florida, my scent of the day is Parfum de Marly Percival. It just works down here. Oh no. Did you see Ramsey's video on Targhee Forest by Rogue? No, I didn't. Rich, have you smelled Joy and 1000 from Patu? Yes, but I can't remember them. Scent of the day, Ylang Ylang from Villaresi, and in the evening, after a shower, Philosopos. DJ Welcome he is wearing Salute. I think you will smash that Escala in Indonesia in 1/4 time. I will batter it like that, and Escala in Haiti. Oh, that good. I'm looking forward to wearing these now it's summer and giving them the hiding that they deserve. You know, I'm going to give you a damn good thrashing. You know, I'm looking forward to wearing B by Zoologist. I'm looking forward to wearing Mediterranean Neroli by Xenia. Welcome, Paroli. Just thinking of Escala in Haiti, and in Florida too. Escala in Haiti in Florida would be a good wear. Can't talk about that D&G Masculine. Want your thoughts? Can you talk about the D&G Masculine? It's a bergamot fragrance. It's clean, it's uplifting, it's Italian, it's fresh, it's beautiful. Amazing to think this is a designer fragrance when everything that's been released today is pretty poor. This is very linear, it's very linear, it's very straight. What you put on is what you get hours later. The bergamot kind of reminds us of Eau Sauvage a bit. It's so clean and fresh and bitter, you know. Don't remember if you sampled the Vin de Eugene in your video. Smells vintage too. Outrageous. Rich, what about Acqua di Bergamotto by Xenia? Is that in one of... Excuse me. Oh, is that in one of these? Is it in this bottle? This is lovely as well. It's a summer floral. The dry downs and modern frags are just boring, says Xuro. What Freud this morning. Spent my afternoon working from home and testing various things, none of which is worth mentioning, says Xuro. Paroli is wearing Koros Cologne Sport. The Xenia collection is now overpriced. Yeah, it is, yeah. It's not worth more than £1 a mil. So you're talking like 125 quid a bottle. They are big bottles. They're 125 ml bottles, and you can spray them lavishly, but they're not worth what they're asking now. Aqua ones were cheaper versions of the Essenza line, if I recall. Yeah, I think I do remember them. Actually, they were very straight, weren't they? I liked this line, actually, but I thought the prices were fucking scandalous, like. You know? Are you surprised that Sebastian's favourite from Les Abstraits is Descendre? Not hugely. He quite likes classic fragrances, doesn't he? So that's not a huge surprise. It was good to see him reviewing them, though. You know? So that's good. Yeah, so something very close to that bottle. I've only seen it, fuck's sake. I've only seen a 50ml, no black cap or base, just brass and square. I think it's a different fragrance we're talking about. They did a bergamot in this bottle, and it was lovely. I also like Pasha Sport. I want to grab that too. Well, I have got a haul coming, maybe tomorrow, from my man in Japan, my French man in Japan. And I've got some shizzle. It's got some fucking good stuff in it. So I'm looking forward to that. Really regretting selling my Xenia Womo now. Tastes may take off a year or two and then always rotate back, says Bob. So I'm just texting Richie G's wife. We're having a barbecue tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Oops, sorry. I'm still here, don't worry. Pasha Sport lasts about an hour. Spray it on clothes, says RXL. I haven't smelled that. I don't think, anyway. I've got a vintage flanker of Pasha coming tomorrow. Very old and hard to get. So look out. I see you have a stream coming up, RXL. I did not know you did. I did not mean to fucking do that. But if you want, if you can wait until my usual finish time, I will make way and let people come and watch your stream. The Swanwood says the original Essenza de Xenia was quite good. I think Anush tried to send me a sample of that, or did send me a sample of that. Oh, sorry, I've read that. The original. Oh, sorry, I've read that as well. Fuck. Oh, this Healy cologne is almost leathery now. Liking more means not good for me wallet. I've bought a bottle. I've got a bottle coming, mate. It's so dry. It's so fucking dry. It's like having a fucking, like a really old bar of soap. You know when bars of soap didn't have moisturiser in, and it would just leave your hands dry as fuck. It's like that. Only an hour? Damn, I thought it was more powerful than that, says supply and demand. Where did you get a Cologne Aficionado? Do they ship to the US? I got it at a place called... Essenza Nobile. I will put the name in the chat. And I believe they will ship to the US, but it might cost you an arm and a leg. You might be better off just looking at Lucky Scent. I'm sure they've got Healy, haven't they? Maybe Les Santas. I think Les Santas ship across the world now. But that, Essenza Nobile, is generally where I get most of my niche stuff. What I do is I wait until I've got a big enough haul to get free shipping. And if you spend like 350 euros, which I think's like $400 or maybe 400, 450, something around that, they'll give you free shipping, you know? Jonathan, I've just finished a 125ml bottle of the Z14. It was enjoyable, although I've always read different opinions on it. Some say too much cinnamon may depend on formulation. Scent of the day, Penhaligon's Rackets. Richie G really enjoyed that. Me and Richie G went to... Where did we go to? We went on a trip last year in April to meet Audrey Jane and... Dura Rose. Christ. Didn't tell Dura Rose I couldn't remember his name. And what did he say? Richie G really loved it. Sorry, I'm having a fucking absolute brain fart here. It's fucking... The heat, man. Americans would laugh at us if I told you what the heat was, but you've got to remember, I'm a northern fucking Viking, me. I am useless with the heat. It is like kryptonite to us. I'm wilting. You know what I mean? God. I've got an air conditioner on, man. I've got a fucking air conditioning unit in my room. Oh, it's just fucking useless. Enrique, I thought it was... I saw it at Lucky Scent, says Tripler. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's at Lucky Scent. I'm sure he's... I'm sure James Healy's stocked at Lucky Scent. You'll be able to get a sample there as well. This is my sample. I was going to send it to DJ, but he's decided to just blind buy a bottle. So, happy days. Graham Howitt, welcome. I have bought your... Fuck me, what's it called? Lone Star Memories as well, mate. That's coming. So, if you want to send us an email, you can ping us the cash or just wait until it arrives and I've got it in my hand. Whatever you want to do, mate. Doug, I think you need to give H24 EDP a proper try. But do I? Do I, though? Really? I might give the 24. I might give the fucking EDP a proper try. Or Excel says, no worries, I'll never see the riffraff that watch my live stream. I'll watch your streams. That's why I asked you to wait until I'm finished. Much appreciated. Just drop me a mail with what the conversion works out at and whatever and how you want the money, mate. No problem. Trump has been arrested. What, again? He's not having a very good time of it, is he? Look, I think you need to give BBQ. You must cut through the thick smoke of burning meat. I must. I quite like my meat, like, cooked. Like, medium to well done. I'm a charlatan. I realise that's not what fucking... For fuck's sake, don't pay $400 for one Healy. No. You don't... No, you've misunderstood us. I don't know if he's charging... I don't know if Lucky Scent are charging fucking $400 for a fucking Healy. They're not. This Essenza Nobile is charging like 120 quid for one. It's just that I've got one. DJ's got one. Graham's got a fucking Lone Star Memories. And somebody else has bought a bottle of Nightingale. So it's going to work out a bit cheaper as well. It's how I've done it. Don't worry. I'm on good terms with the Essenza Nobile. I fucking want to be on good terms with them considering the amount of money I've put their way. I'm lurking, says DJ. Welcome. It's 3:30 a.m. and I can't stop watching CNN, says Rachel. Don't watch too much of the news. I was watching fucking British news today. There was a massive attack this morning in Nottingham. Some geezer with a fucking knife went round and I think it was a sword actually. Fucking attacked 3 fucking students, killed them, and then tried to run, and then did run over 4 other people in his car and put them in hospital. The fucking shit house. Police got him alive, though. Police got him alive. I like that. I don't like it when they get killed. I don't like it when people like that get killed. I want them in jail forever. I want them to slowly rot and lose their minds. You know what I mean? Proper, like, I like that. Like, I think that's better than the whole, like, death by cop. Like, that's I think that's much better when they fucking get them like that. Don't get us wrong, sometimes they've got to go, because otherwise they're going to take more people with them and you've got to get rid. But in a perfect world, I'd rather take them prisoner, keep them in solitary confinement, watch them fall apart over the course of years. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me personally, you know. I'm not a politician, I'm not a fucking judge, I'm not a fucking police officer, I'm not any of that's just my opinion. A lot of other people would just say, just off them and get rid of them, and then they're gone. And I appreciate that, I understand that, you know. Problem solved. But I'm more than willing to put my hand in my pocket just to chip in, just to keep that person cooking on the spit. Can't get right to says, for me, fragrances are escapism from this free moronic matrix we live in. I agree, but slightly, subtly differently, but I agree, basically. It's escapism from life, and life is shit. Like, a lot of the time, life is crap, and fragrances are mint. And the community, in the main, is mint. I love the community. I love fragrances, I love having all these people with all their different opinions, and all their different tastes, and it just gets me away from this absolute insanity that the world is. Whatever your opinion of the world, we can all agree it's completely fucked, you know? And that's just, and fragrances are a way out, you know? Graham, Rachel, great podcast, by the way, enjoyed it very much. Ah, yes, Rachel, with the podcast. Duck rants his product. Yes, I know, I've already started ranting. They were teenagers, though, do you know what I mean? They were students. 4 o'clock in the morning, going home from the club, and some absolute wankers turned up with a sword and hacked them to fucking bits. Fuck him. I hope by the time he's fucking dead and he's old age, his fucking arse cheeks don't touch each other anymore. His fucking back is broken. He has to fucking pull himself around by his hands. He shits as he moves. You know what I mean? All that horrible fucking shit. He lives in his own fucking filth. Absolutely. Fuck him. Dirty bastard. Awful fuck that, like. Horrible shit. I watched the final season of Succession. What a series that. I have not watched any of that, but I'm not a big TV watcher. You're more likely to catch us watching a documentary. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Dusan, well done. 3rd place in the chess tournament. Congratulations. Actor-based reality. We're all actors, if you believe, what's he called? The psychologist. Carl Jung say everybody's got social masks. There's a you and there's a shadow you. I might be fucking conflating many. I'm not going to get into psychology. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I find it interesting, but people are unusual. I think we can all agree on that as well. Graham, thank you. Duck was the best. That's right. Actor-based reality, the world is a stage. The world is a stage, I agree. Psyops and crisis actors. So I'm not sure about the old... I think about psyops and stuff like that. People like that, Michael Flynn, he's a fucking lunatic. But crisis actors... I'm not sure about crisis actors. I'm pretty certain there is shit that is done to get a reaction from people. Do you know what the Hegelian dialectic is? Somebody's got an aim. They've got a conclusion that they want. So what they'll do is they'll cause a problem, right? And then what they'll do is they'll propose a solution. And then the solution benefits them, and it makes it work out that it seems as though everybody benefits, but they benefit. Look up the Hegelian dialectic. It's a fucking outrageous fucking thing from years ago, like 2,500 years ago. Very interesting. For me, fragrances. Oh, sorry, I've read that. French Execution. Sounds like a fragrance, that, doesn't it? French Execution by L'Oreal. Fucking L'Oreal have executed many a brand. That's a Freudian slip. Yeah, I love it when you talk dirty, sis. Can't get right too. When I heard the bagpipes, I feared a declaration of war. Hadn't seen the screen yet. Third place on a chest hump. That fucking masculine's lovely. I imagine the performance is fucking despicable. But what that is lovely. It's a bergamusk. That's just what it is. It's a bergamusk, but it's a beautiful bergamusk. Hello, Robes. How are you? So Robes' video today, and he was like, choose from one of these 3 things that you would like to say. And I was like, no. Something else completely. Brought your queen out too early, Doosan. It's Jura Rose here. Bobby, in one game I sacrificed my queen and I won that game. Can you beat Kasparov? Like shampoo and moisturizer. You what? Evening, Nick S. I'll buy some more frags as a revolutionary act. Yes! Do that. That is, I mean, fuck. I'd be like on the most wanted list if that was how you qualified. Maybe next week, Duck. It's all right. It's become a running thing at the minute, though. Can you remember years ago? I used to say, when are you going to review Amber Sultan? And you were like, yeah, that's not happening for another year or so. The queue, Robes' queue. It's a mighty queue. It's a mighty, mighty queue. But we have all the time in the world. I reviewed Herba Fresca today. There wasn't a lot to say about it. I mean, there is a lot to say about it. It's a fabulous fragrance. It's an absolutely sensational fragrance. This is a fragrance that Robes used to talk about, I'm sure. Because he used to talk about mint. This is where my love of mint comes from. And I've got quite a few good mints. I've got a mint coming tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. It might be Thursday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it might be Thursday. But I've got an outrageous mint coming. This is sensational. I did say in the review, though, if you watched it, when you get to the highest of high heat, Richie J took it to Africa, and I got messages off him saying, mate, I thought Herba Fresca was going to be amazing in the heat. It was not. Apparently, it was like, whoa, it was too thick, because there's a bit of sweetness. Sorry, I'm just going to give you a bit of a clean. There you are, look at that. Is that better? I think that might be worse. Yeah, been enjoying my Eau de Glory clone and Fundamental. Yes, DJ told me to watch out for the new Rubinis to come. You know? Because they're getting a reform, 1 or 2 of them. Rich, did you try Chypre Rouge yet? No. That's another one that reminds us of Robes. Chypre Rouge. I think it was Chypre Rouge that Robes tried once. And he was like, this shit was too much. It was a Serge Luton. It could have been Serge Noir. It was one of them. But the video, he was like, what? It was like encroaching. This fragrance. Chypre Rouge was too much. Yes, there it is. Yes, I thought it was Chypre Rouge. I knew it was Chypre Rouge or Serge Noir. It was something like that, and I just remember him being like, this is haunting. This is massive. I'm scared. Send help. Syrupy red pine needles. It's the syrup. Yeah, it's thick. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to open it. I might wait until the autumn to open it. I managed to get a bottle off my lovely connection who sent me the Green Valley, which was unfortunately off, which was deeply upsetting, but still. That is life, my friends. Too much speed, chest Duchamp, says Bob. I'll buy some more frags as a revolutionary act. Yes, man, it's the age of Aquarius. Let's stop being negative. As our masters say, the new motto is love, light, abundance. I haven't heard that one. Nobody speaks about the fiat money currency scam, though. I don't know what that is either. Fiat's a fucking... They make cars, don't they? Shite cars. Suffering a fiat worse than death. On the Jungian thing, when you get to know your inner darkness, you understand from where it derives and your light can shine brighter, says John. Yes, there is the embracing of the shadow self, you know, the darkness in there. It's good. It's tough. It's not easy accepting that that is actually part of you. But it is. And everyone's got it. Microsoft Excel can't handle the queue. He thought it was unlimited spreadsheets, but oh no, the queue broke. It's too much weight. The queue is thick. Good review. I think it's one of the better modern girl on, says Nick. I think it's fabulous. It's an absolutely great fragrance. Thank you very much as well, by the way. Herba Fresca is an absolutely great fragrance. Will Girl On do a 40 version of that one? Well, it's funny you ask, because I've asked. I've found a bottle, 125 ml bottle of Herba Fresca online for 60 quid the person wants. It's a lot of fragrance for 60 quid. 125 ml of that for 60 quid. Fucking brilliant. How did you know? How do you know the Green Valley was off? Because it had a coffee note and it shouldn't have had a coffee note. Like, that's the smell that citrus. It had this kind of burned coffee turned citrus kind of thing. It's hard to explain. You'll know it when you smell it. If you've ever smelled an off fragrance before, like, I sprayed it and it was wonderful while I was on video. Almost as soon as the video was over, it had like this fucking... It might have been like 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. It had this fucking darkness which shouldn't be there came out. And it was like this horrible coffee. Like, shitty coffee. Had that. You know what I need? Some Musk Kublai Khan. I was offered some Musk Kublai Khan. But I knocked it back. I'm not a fan. I think it smells like poo. Stale poo. You know when your drains get blocked? Or when drains are hot and they dry out and there's like dry shit. It's got that. Creed was drinking coffee when he made your batch. Fucking drinking something. Scent of the Night, Monsieur by Pierre Guillaume. There's a really good Pierre Guillaume fragrance from ages ago. Ages ago, and I can't remember what it was. I was going to buy it, and then I bottled it. It was like a sweet, boozy fragrance, you know. You know what? I need some Musk Kublai Khan. Missed the 50ml under 100 Serge Luton bundle on that one. Robes will remember when them Serge Lutons were at discounters. When discounters were good, you could get those 50ml Serge Lutons for under like fucking $60, $70, $80. Fucking better times. Better times. What's Pierre Guillaume like? He knocks frags out quicker than a Catholic bride. I was going to sell my L'Homme Ideal Extreme, but I've just come back to wearing it. Is that the incense one with the black rim? I think I like that one. Is it the Extreme? I think it is the Extreme. I might be talking shit, though. Monsieur is nice, kind of more polite version of Jouvois' private label. I don't like Jouvois fragrances, I've got to be honest. Green Valley has that beautiful clover. Talking about clover, I think Herba has that too. It does, you're right, it's got that at the top. So does Gap Grass. Love the clover. Yes, it gives that grassy kind of... That grassy, like... meadow floor, soft green thing. It's a fucking great fragrance, Herba Fresca. Absolutely love it. Not familiar with isolated clover, says Bob. I smelled some fougères that smell of overripe pineapple. Could have been. I mean, fougères have usually all got like a very similar top, mid and bottom, to be fair. It's very difficult to make a fougère that's like different. Beau de Jour kind of managed it because of the standard of the lavender and the style of the lavender. It was very... It's a very particular lavender in this. It's the same lavender that's in Music for a While. Of course, both owned by the same company. Lavender taken from the same palette. The beautiful lavender, to be fair. Very clean, crisp. That kind of thing. Friends, if you are so inclined, if I could ask you to like the stream, I would be most appreciative. I don't want to get into the habit of being that person who's like, oh, like, comment, subscribe, and all of that sort of patter, but if you would be so kind, I would appreciate it greatly. If that is your thing. Juro, the incense is quite beautiful along with all the resins and earthy woods. MKK smells like baby wipes to my nose. I'm a big fan of dry shite, apparently, says Robes. There are a lot of people who are. There are a lot of people who are into that kind of stench. You know? I like almost like Indian Oud, like The Night by Frederick Martin. I've got a fucking bottle of that. I was thinking this, actually, now I've mentioned that, your video reminded me of this the other day as well. When you did the sample, I'm going to try wearing that in the summer, in the heat. It's like Leather Oud. Leather Oud works in the heat as well. It's got this kind of balmy sweetness, this kind of soft, I think it's the beeswax, you know? Do you like Musk Ravageur? Personally, no. I've never smelled Rive Gauche. Is it creamy vanilla or more oak mossy? Funny you mention that. I'm selling my bottle. It's creamy. It's lavendery. It's... Oh! Here it is. You got the vintage. Just never wear it. Never think about wearing it. And it's got a slightly ambery touch. I'll tell you, it's in a similar sort of family to the like Aberdeen lavender and Prada Amber Pour Homme. It's got the same vibe. It doesn't smell the same per se, but it's got a very similar vibe. Let's put some on. Very creamy. It's nice. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it is nice. It smells good. But it's not. It's not. That's not it. The price is not it, friends. I can tell you. What it's going for now, no. DS and Durga releasing a frag every month. Fucking wow. I like bow makers, right? I really wanted bow makers. I really wanted to like bow makers, right? And I did, but it was very hard. It was very hard. Oh, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. You are too kind. Rachel has donated. She is too lovely. Best grass in the game is Gap grass. Gap grass. I tried to buy a bottle of that. Somebody wanted 400 quid for it, and I was like, ooh. I remember Rose waxing lyrical about it. On topic of the day, says Chirpler. Duck, what's your opinion on the open selling of empty fragrance bottles on eBay and other platforms? So my friend, who is a good deal older than me, her father, who would have been a very good deal older than me, said once, and this is some ancient wisdom, and I think he's right, that if you put an empty milk bottle in a shop window and leave it there, after a certain amount of time, someone will come along and buy it. Someone will come along and buy it. All you've got to do is be prepared to wait long enough. And I thought that was quite profound, actually. It's always, I always think that. I just think how fucking stupid people are. But then I think, I don't know, sometimes you just catch people, you know? And people are stupid. Like, selling empty fragrance bottles, I've seen it done. You know? Maybe there are people out there who want to collect empty fragrance bottles. If anybody wants to buy any of my empty fragrance bottles, let me know. It's sort of like, it's like jeans with holes in, right? I look at people, right, and if I'm ever sat, I don't just walk up to people and say this, but if I'm ever sat with someone who's got holes in their jeans, right, you know, like ripped jeans and that, I'll say, you know, that's what you pay the extra money for, isn't it? You paid the money for the holes in the jeans. I can get a cheaper pair of jeans that haven't got fucking holes in. You wally. It's crackers. You know what I mean? No, it looks good. No, it doesn't. Looks like you got holes in your pants, you freak. To be fair, that's harsh. I don't say that. I do say the first bit, but not the second bit. Getting a bit of the star anise from Reeve Gauche. But yes, selling free. People will buy stuff if you just leave stuff there for long enough. People are weird. People are very weird. You won't believe me, Rich, but I've had a very profound and spiritual experience last year on the hottest of hot days with Herba Fresca. I love this perfume. It's fantastic. I kind of had similar out-of-body experiences a couple of times when I was enduring the highest of high heat last year. Fuck that. The night. Wear it during a summer night. Bet it'll work well. I bet it'll work well as well. Reeve Gauche also does not get much wearings by me. It gets lost in the collection. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to cut down the size of the collection so I can get to the stuff that I love more. You know? Like more often. I can wear the stuff I love more often. You know? And it's worked. It's worked so far. I've sold a lot of perfumes. And it's slightly liberating. Warm Barbasol shaving foam, says Bob. Prada Amber, I like. Ayahuasca, says Tripler. I remember when Reeve Gauche was $30 at discounters, but so was Gucci Pour On 1 and 2. I've sold Gucci Pour On 1 as well. Just can't hack it. Just can't hack it. It's not my fragrance at all. Never even think about wearing it. That's kind of the acid test for me. Do I think about wearing it? I don't want to say fantasize, but like, do I like plot when I'm going to wear something? And if the answer's no, and I'd never even think about it, not just don't wear it, I just never even think about wearing it, then it's like, I'm just hoarding it at that point, so I let it go. Rube says, gotta get going. Duck and chat, but nice catching up. Much love from Canada. Love the month. Right, Sharinian Pumas Herba front line looks very green. Thank you for coming, Robes. I appreciate it. Much love to Canada. Yes, the front. I've been heavily influenced by Mark. I've said this many times. I have no shame. Pick who you get influenced by, and you'll be all right. People who get influenced by Jeremy and all that kind of charade, fair play to you if that's what you want. There's another mint. Oh god, this is a bit of a deeper mint. This is a richer, thicker chocolate mint kind of thing because of the patchouli. Even the La Collection bottles are 3 times as expensive as they used to be. Yep. She is too lovely, says Tripler. There's a convention in the USA dedicated to empty fragrance bottles. Wow! You definitely pay the money for all kinds of holes, says Burst Out. Is Grass Gap similar to Un Jardin sur le Trois? The apple and grass notes sound similar. Pass. Robes would have to answer that because I haven't got it. 64 currently in Meduckland. John Matthew, welcome. Reeve Ghost feels anticlimactic to me once it dries down to a nondescript woodiness. You just want there to be more. Or you want it to do things. I miss the discontinued vetiver nutmeg combo and L'Occitane eau de vetiver. That's a good vetiver. That's a very good vetiver. I like that one. It's dark. And I'm not a massive fan of a really dark, smoky vetiver, but I like that one. I was going to buy it. I was on a bit of a L'Occitane kick a long time ago. I might wear Oncle Noir Sport tomorrow because the weather's meant to keep up. The weather is meant to keep it up. Reeve Ghosh is boring. It does not deserve the current asking price. Correct. You pay the money for the holes. Brilliant, says Graham. There's a serious bus shelter advert for a brothel vibe there. Pardon me. Kind of smell a dude who worked middle management in a supermarket smells like. Ah, Pep, welcome. Spaced Out says, I just cannot wait for my 125ml Amber and Away to arrive. Paid €135 for it. Excellent. That's about what it should be. That's about what it should be. You're a rascals. How often, though, are those empty bottles filled with fake fragrance and sold on? More of what I was implying. Rife with sinister potential, allowing the empties. Notice how most are Creed. That wouldn't surprise us. Of course, you remember I got done with a fucking bottle of Sahara Noir, being a fucking idiot. I just like its simplicity, just like the luxury shaving cream to me. Doc, what do you think about the TARS? Is the projection thing a big deal? It's alien to me. It's not my type of thing, if I'm being honest. I've tried. And it's just nothing. It's nothing I'm interested in, to be honest. You know? I understand people who like them, and I understand why they like them. I've smelled a few that I thought were nice. But I just don't, excuse me, I just don't like them, to be honest. There's probably a lot of people refilling older Creed bottles with current stuff, and batch wankers wouldn't be none the wiser, says DJ. Gucci guilty absolute, even though it's summer, says Justin. Good lord. That's a brave man. Tripler says it must be an entire industry. Yes, Nick S. Reeve never was trying to be something else at $30. Batch wankers, that's so perfect, says Nick. There are many batch wankers. There are many batch wankers. Ooh. Oops. Have you been wearing the new patchouli from Lesina Madabla? I find it hard to wear this time of year. I should have released it in the fall or winter. I haven't been wearing it. I've got my bottle. I'm going to do an unboxing when my Cologne Officinale arrives. I might even unbox it tomorrow. If my perfumes from the French man from Japan arrive. You know? Excuse me. Better buy the Leon before it's reformulated, says Pradeep. Nope. I don't like the Leon at all. Son of the Days Adidas from 1989. 85, I beg your pardon. Nice perfume, Amber and Away. Yeah, I like Amber and Away. Play the pipes for those tuning in. They may take our perfume, but they'll never take our backups. So here's a Frappan Man. A Frappan Man? That's not a bad shout. Duck's my favourite. Welcome, Stephs. Thank you. The Leon is going to age beautifully like a fine wine. You hope. Not a fan. Just can't hack it. Don't like labdanum that much. I like labdanum in ambers. I like labdanum as a supporting player, but when it's front and center, it just reminds me of the texture of a balloon. You know, that rubbery and even I get the taste in my mouth. It's foul. I can tell you that old masculine's fabulous. Dear me. It's a Burger Musk. That's what it is. I think Burger Musks have a lemonade type vibe to them. Just a little bit more creamy. You know, like a creamy lemonade. But fizzy. A cloudy, fizzy lemonade. I don't know that that's possible, to be frank, but here we are. Absolute for morning, Adidas for afternoon, says Justin. Have Darren Allen after the rain on order? Nothing else now. Seems very exciting. Need to try the Healy though. I really like the Healy. It's got a vintage vibe to it. It reminds me a bit of Eau Sauvage. You know? But with like an overt soap note. Like French soap. Like imperial leather. Like vintage soap. I'm happy to have it, says Pulp Ephemeral. Then I am happy for you. If you've got it and you enjoy it, that is the main thing. That's the only thing. I say it's the main thing. It's the only thing. It's your money. It's your collection. It's your nose. You have it. You enjoy it. And I am happy. Seriously, I'm not joking. I give perfumes a lot of stick, but that's because people are asking me my opinions. I will say whether I like something if I don't like it. I'll say I don't like it. If I do like something, I'll say I will. But that should not stop you from enjoying it if you do enjoy it. You don't need my permission to enjoy what you enjoy. Absolutely not. And I do hope that that's never happened. That I've put somebody off enjoying something that they like or affected it in that kind of way. That is not what I am about. What I am about is being honest about how I feel about shit and being secure enough in myself that I like what I like and that other people's opinions. There's loads of times people have come to us and said, "Well, I smelled that what you like and it's fucking horrible." And I've been like, "Well, don't buy it, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, don't worry, I fucking won't. The good thing is that the amount of times that people have dropped something in the chat saying, oh, you should try this, or you should try that. And I've been like, yeah, I will. And then I've liked it, or not liked it. It's broadened the horizons, that's the point, isn't it? You know? Legend Amidabla should do the 7mm for the other perfumes too. I agree, that's a good call. I know they did it for Amber Sultan. I know they did it for Patchouli Noisette. I think it's a good idea. They could sell them for what, 30, 40, 50 quid? Well, not 50 quid, that's too much for 7mm. Jesus, what am I thinking? Don't give them an excuse. But yeah. A good shout. I was adamant about sampling Cuir de Chine by Les Inimitables. It was not as queerish as I had hoped. I was looking for a robust leather accord. Alas. Robust leathers. Smolto Pohom. Smoky Italian leather. Like a smoke moss. I've coined this phrase and for some reason it just comes out now. Smoke moss. You get the smokiness from the oak moss and the... It's a very strange fucking thing. So it's got this anise at the top. It's here. Watch it. I'm gonna fucking... There's gonna be... I fucking knew that was gonna happen. Alright. Up we come. Hold on. There it is. This. See if we can find this. It's a beautiful, beautiful leather. Oh. It smells like a leather jacket. A well-worn, high-end leather jacket. Of course we're here to hear. Of course we're here to hear your opinion. Nothing wrong about that. I'm not offended at all. I like hearing your opinions as well. Can we call you Donald since you're a duck? I would rather not. I am Rich. Rich Mitch. Or Duck. How about a tower for your barbecue tomorrow? No, too thick, too heavy, too rich. Maybe Mugler Cologne, I'm thinking. Or Cologne Royale. I'm going to wear something like that. You know? Maybe Dune Pour Homme. Or maybe Masculine. By Dolce & Gabbana. Have you seen Ramsey's 100 niche video? Must have taken some time to make. No. I haven't watched it all yet. A raffinade decants, blah 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 blah. Beg your pardon. Yawning in your ears. I won Mugler Cologne this morning, says Nick. Have you tried Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense yet? No, I haven't. Yes, with shipping costs of 7mm of Patchouli Noisette cost €50. That's why I haven't bought it yet. Goodness me. I think the samples should be free. Like, I think you should send samples out. I think everybody should get free samples. I've no problem accepting samples for free. Because that's like standard practice. You know, you walk through department stores, they're always handing out samples. Should be the same with brands, as long as they're handing them out to everybody. You know. Sometimes I wish I had an accent. I'm from California, unfortunately, says Justin. I need to try out the original Prada Amber. I hope it's similar to Coromandel. Ooh. I don't think so. It's got this ambery kind of thing going on that Coromandel's got, but I would say the patchouli amber kind of thing, but not... Fuck, I'm questioning myself now. I don't be fucking... I have to pull them two out. Remind me of that in a couple of months when I'm changing my perfumes round again, and I'll compare them. Never crossed my mind that, ever. Rachel says, friends, it's 4 a.m. here. Time to get some sleep. Goodbye. Good night, Rachel, and thank you. Thank you again. I will write you a message. on coffee. Rachel very kindly donated via coffee. I'm going to start saving up for something again soon. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's time to get a laptop. I don't know. I fear the old laptop. Because I'm going to be shit at it. But like a very side note, I've actually thrown out loads of stuff from my room, so I'm going to be rearranging my room soon. And I threw out loads of stuff today, and that is going to facilitate me moving possibly to sitting behind a desk and filming these videos in a different way, you know. So we're going to see how that goes. We'll see if that's going to be a thing or whether it's not going to be a thing. We'll just have to play it by ear. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I haven't really thought about it. But I might start getting myself on camera. I don't know. I found an antique leather called Queer Caucasian. Take that, Tom Ford. What's good, Duck and Chat? Scent of the day is Dior Vetiver. Many people will be jealous, Galen. Many people will be jealous. Galen will be delighted to learn that we have got a conversation started here today. Amber Parfum. Liz considers full bottles as samples, says Proddy. Yes. Eugene bought £2,000 worth of fucking Le Labo because he didn't want to buy their samples. Should have just bought their samples, really. I saved him a fucking fortune. We saved him £2,000, to be fair. Don't give samples in Manchester, type bastards. They do it less and less now, I'll say that. It should be that samples are the law. Everybody should get at least one sample of fragrance, you know, of every fragrance. That should be how it works. And then if you like it, I've made my thoughts clear on this before. I don't like free bottles for review, because if we'll use the pantomime villain Roger, right? If Roger can give out what, say 20 bottles to influencers on YouTube, never mind Instagram and stuff, right? Why should I have to pay when they didn't? Why should I have to pay for their free bottle? I don't agree with it. I mean, I've said this many times. I'm getting sick of saying it now. I'm a stupid man, but it's why should you? What should happen is, right, if these influencers, right, want to be taken seriously, then what they should do is they should be given a fucking sample, and if they like it, they should spend their own fucking money on buying it. Every perfume here I have bought. I can say that as a sweeping statement. Easily. Apart from the ones Eugene sent us, which I don't talk about, and the only reason I accepted them is because it's Eugene. I know I make a thing of it, but it's important to us. What do you think of MDCI? Well, I am glad you asked, Dino. The other day I was at my friend's house and we tried Invasion Bar and it just clicked. It was glorious. Fucking glorious. People swear it's been reformulated. I would like to smell the old one, but I asked Fliss, I was like, Fliss, do you think it's been reformulated? And she was like, I'm inclined to agree I'm inclined to accept the perfumer's statement that it's not reformulated because he's a stand-up, honest guy. And I was like, okay. I wouldn't mind one of the bust bottles, though. It looks outrageous. It's got a heat on it. And with that, friends, I'm going to pop to the bathroom. Galen, provide entertainment. I'll be back. Please stay where you are. Oh, friends, it's too hot outside of this room. I nearly fucking wilted the scenes. Good lord. Can't be dealing with that. Fucking stay to me. I'm too big of a unit. The feathers are too thick. Catheters? What are you talking about catheters for? God. Leave you for 2 minutes and you're just sticking pipes up people's pieces. Where is my stream? RXL didn't take my advice and decided to stream at his time anyway, so I'll have to try and catch his stream before this one ends. Or after this one ends, sorry. Get Microsoft Surface Book. I might do. I've got a friend called Baratri on. He gets in the chat sometimes. He knows his technology. I would ask him. He knows his shit. I said, give me a laptop for a simpleton. Would you power wash the Leon off your loins? I wouldn't power wash anything off my loins. God. Rich, I know we're far from the autumn rotation, but when you have a window of opportunity, sample Francesca Bianchi's Lover's Tale and Sticky Fingers. I am not a fan of Bianchi, to be honest with you, John. I like Dior Vetiver, but it did kind of bore me. Yeah, Dior Vetiver is more of a flex than a must-own. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I think that Guerlain's vetiver is still to be topped. Still hasn't been fucking bettered. You know. You can throw ideas at us in the chat if you want about what's a better vetiver than Guerlain's, but it's fucking some fragrance that. Every man and woman must be entitled to 2 mil. Yes, it's a human right. I like that idea. I want to see duck in the flesh. Then you may. I've got a desk, a fucking big posh desk that I would sit behind, you know. Just get a camera set up and stuff like that. That's me thinking. I could use. I've got a veranda door over there I could use for natural light. But I've also got the spotlight. So it's cool. I like the idea. I want to see duck in the flesh. Every man, duck for Sheriff of Nottingham, make samples. The law, yes, would be incredible as a town crier, says Tripler. Yeah. Is everyone sufficiently entertained, says Galen? No. Catheter would definitely up the content percentage. Do you still have that vintage Amouage? No, I sold it to Audrey Jane. Galen hasn't entertained shite, says Bob. I think it's easier to release a private collection rather than a quality designer. Look at Celine. I think that brands, they aren't releasing fragrances in what we would call designer lines because of the way that pricing and luxury has gone. It would be seen as cheap. You know, it would be seen as cheap to release a fragrance in a designer like when they could ask for more, why would they ask for less? Basically, Eugene did this. Eugene was advised to charge double what he's actually charging for his fragrances. And he still got fucking hassle off people for the price. Eugene was told, you should charge a lot more for your fragrances than what you're charging. By some very respectable people. And he said no. Welcome, Manly Sense. Agree on Guerlain Vetiver, can't beat it, says Graham. Carvan Vetiver, green box, old formula, very good, says Stephs. Many calling Marc Antoine Barrois niche for some reason, just for the price. He's not, he's a designer. He's literally a designer. He designs. He makes clothes. He's a designer. It's like Etro. Etro is a designer. Probably the most underrated designer. Go in the bin. Sorry, friends. Had to kick something downstairs. Only you. Whoops. Just going to turn that on a little bit. Turn the aircon back on instead of just the fan. Because it's getting hot in here. I need to take my evening medication. People underestimate how much people will pay to be something. I agree. I think that's what's been realised by the companies, and it's the ability to say I paid X amount or infer that they paid a certain amount of money for something without having to actually say that. You know? People want to flex. Oh, excuse me. Vetiver Extraordinaire is very good, says Enrique, and he is right. James Crowder, welcome. I wore the ribbed Guerlain Vetiver today, and it didn't last very long. It was a warm day though. I wore 4 sprays. I do love it though. I also haven't smelled a better vetiver. I get really good performance out of this. Just spray more. Just spray more, as Bookland Fragrance Lover used to say, God bless him. It's beautiful. It's got this frosty kind of thing going on, not just from the... This is a 2002 bottle. Brilliant. It is questionable. Etro put out their perfume line before they became a fashion brand. Incorrect, Juro. Etro have been a fashion brand for decades, mate. Decades. Guerlain Vetiver has this swampy facet, which ain't for me, says Proddy. I don't get that. I think this is crisp, sharp, green, clean, cool, cold. I'm not a collector, but I would love to have that Guerlain rib. Ask Anuj. Maybe he's got some. I've got a few of these. It's my favourite version. Only about 8 to 10 sprays with the latest formulation, says Nick. It shouldn't be that way. The original Eau de Cologne is magnificent. I have an Eau de Cologne and it's dark. It's a very different perfume in my opinion. I sold a rib bottle for €70, says Brody. Yikes. You probably get a bit more than that for it now. I don't know what it moves for these days. I bought a few of them at that kind of price. You know? Beautiful fragrance. Hard to top. No, I bought it for a month. Wow. Was it full? Was it full? It's Wednesday tomorrow, isn't it? I wonder what I will wear for my... They were textile makers, says Juro. Their first clothing collection came out in 91, and the first perfumes in the late 80s. You might be right. You may be correct. Prodip sold it on Vinted. Fragrance flexing exists mostly in Fragcom, though not in normal people's lives. No, I agree. There are some people who do it, but they flex as far as they'll be at a dinner party and say they're wearing Tom Ford, you know, or they're wearing Chanel, or they're wearing Dior, or they're wearing Creed. They'll say the brand, but they won't say what the perfume is. They don't talk about fucking batch codes, unless they're around other wankers who think that shit's important as well, you know? Excuse me whilst I yawn. Woof. Fragrance flaxing's a weird thing, isn't it? Arige Lador and Slumber House are used for flax nowadays. Yes, I would tend to agree. It does seem like they are used for flex. Not something I would flex over, though, I must admit. Doesn't bother me that much, the Ariges, if I'm being honest. Not a fan. Nowadays, says DJ, naturally batch wankers will circle jerk. I do wonder how Arige got so much traction so early. You know, usually it takes brands a really long time to take off in that kind of way, because everything he sells straight away. You know, like it's gone in an instant. FOMO. Yeah, but the first time he released a fragrance, so there was no context. There was no context to people wanting to stock up on it and stuff like that. How did it happen so quickly? He must have had some stuff that got traction. You know? He must have. And the community in that side is very FOMO heavy, and if it's limited, it must be good types. Yeah, I know. I know, the whole laws of supply and demand and stuff like that. Fear of missing out, all that kind of shenanigan. Crazy. The important question is, will it be able to keep up for long? Not unless he releases something akin to what he released when he first started, and because his perfumes aren't as good as they used to be, apparently. And I think that's the general consensus. Which is a bit dangerous for him. Those earlier Arige stick around for a while, says Galen. I was able to buy samples and make a decision before buying. I think it was Oud Luwak that broke it wide open. That Oud Luwak, I'd actually quite like to try that. Because it's got the fucking shitty coffee note. Like the coffee out the back of a cat. Crazy. Arige, I blame the wafties, Dan and Joe. Any Burberry fragrances that you'd wear? Not that I own. London's alright. But I don't really own... Excuse me. I don't really own many. I don't own any. What am I saying? I don't own many. I don't own any. Next time it's very hot and humid, I will pay attention to my Listerine Vetiver EDT longevity. Sweat is a tough medium. I really like this. Girl on Vetiver, the cap's mental. I don't understand people buying caps. You know, we're talking about empty bottles and stuff like that. Maybe as you buy them for the cap, you might lose a cap. You might have a tester that you want to put a cap on. You know, I don't understand that, to be fair. Oh my giddy hands! What? Why is that happening? I have so many yawns. I will sleep well tonight, hopefully. Hopefully I'll get to sleep for 8 hours. Caps, yeah, same with empty boxes. Why is there a heart emoji at the bottom left of the screen? Any way to get rid of it? No, there isn't. It is a right pain in the arse. The heart emoji, if you press it, it will come up with 5 different little faces, and you press them and they are on the screen. You see? I found a very old cheap Versailles Pour Homme. Has some similarities to Patou Pour Homme, but not the same quality of ingredients. I think I've got a Versailles Pour Homme. I've got a Courageous and I've got a Versailles, and I think they both need decanting. And they will be getting worn in the autumn. Very good fragrances, both of them. I had a Bala Versailles and I really hated it. I had a vintage Ballavasine. I gave it to Richie G. It was fucking rotten. You know, it's just not my type of fragrance. Like a proper classic female floral chypre, and that's just not my fragrance style at all. I really don't like it. Oh, you fucking gimp! Stop that. Ugh, Cologne Royale's so good. It's like Cologne Royale is like Masculine by D&G, but it's got a slightly sweeter, slightly fuller top note. I think what makes Masculine by D&G what it is its kind of stripped back nature thing. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on modern Sizzly Eau de Campagne. Is the vintage worth seeking out? It's top note heavy. I don't know about the vintage, but the modern one's fabulous. It's a fucking great fragrance. It really is. You could just as easily, but I wouldn't look for a vintage one personally. I would just get the fucking modern one. Like you say, it's top note heavy. So is it worth that? Enormous bergamot, the D&G Masculine. Yep, it's a bergamusk is what it is. There's a bergamot and musk perfume, but it's very, very nice. It really is really nice. What does the Lacoste smell like? Not what you'd think. It's got a warm, spicy coriander type thing going on at the top. And then it's quite woodsy and a little bit green. It's not what you're expecting. It's not what I was expecting. You know? Very strange. Oh, it's fucking glorious, mind. It's really nice, the Eau Masculine. I tried Modern Eau de Campagne in a shop. It's so foolish. I also want Sizzly Eau de Soir. That is a wedding fragrance. I tried Modern Eau de Campagne in a shop. It's so fucking great. Doesn't last that long though, but fuck it, it's lovely. Last month I used Eau de Campagne douche shower gel shampoo. Very nice. Apparently Lacoste made a fragrance named after my favourite movie of all time. I also want to try Sizzly Eau de Soir. Rochas Globe is excellent, one of his best in my opinion. There are lots of 15ml bottles around if you want to sample it first. I've read that the metal edition was a good update for Globe. Nick, what version do you have? Manly, I bought an older bottle from Odyssey for about what the new one goes for. I haven't worn it much, but I'd say go for the newer version to be safe because it's still very good. Muchos advice. I haven't worn this yet this year. Loya Vaporum. Look at the damage I've done to this bottle. Fucking huge. Huge. Oh. It's so good. It's white t-shirt, this. It's a very white t-shirt, this. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. H2O, I wore the Listerine bottle vetiver today. 93 Fahrenheit where I am, and the fragrance gets rubbery after a couple of hours. Rubbery, eh? Don't like rubber. Next is I've got the clear bottle version. I thought the metal version came first. Not much difference apparently, says Nick. It's getting quite cool in here now. I've got the air conditioner on. That's how I like it. I can't be dealing with fucking incredible heat. 93 is hot action, John. Did the tobacco hold out? Love it, says Bob. Dev is back after taking a shower. My 2-month timer for the Healy starts today. If I still like a full bottle, I'll pull the trigger, says Brody. Is that what you do? Wait 2 months to see if you still like something and then buy it? It's not a bad idea, that. Rich, do you like L'Odyssée Pour Homme? Yes, but the latest formulations are not great. It was fucking nuclear 15 years ago. For the first, 15 years of its life, it was a huge fragrance. It was massive. It was citrus and it went all fucking day. James says, I'm going to be selling loads of perfumes, Rich Mitch style, because I want to be able to wear what I love. I have more perfume than I can wear in my life unless I want to heavily overspray. 2, sometimes 6 months, says Brody. Did you get the Argos samples, says Dino? I did get the Argos samples. Do you take your Indians mild or spicy, Rich? Mild. You seem averse to high heat. I am averse to mild heat. To high heat. I'm averse to mild heat. I bought a 10ml of L'Odyssée for a woman and I had to give it away, says Pulp Ephemeral. I hated it. Or I'm mistaken and it's the vet of a burn off, says John. Honestly, Healy's note to yuzu somewhat hits the L'Odyssée itch. It does. It's a good fragrance, that. Scent of the day is Eau de Merveille. It's like a sweeter version of a Peace Marine. Manly Scent says, I'm not the biggest fan of yuzu. Yuzu, you know what I mean, yuzu? You cannot believe it. Only you, zoo. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm gonna check. Oops. Sorry, friends, I have my eyes on another prize. Rachel very kindly sent me a coffee. God bless her. She's lovely, Rachel, isn't she? Not just because she sent us a coffee, but just generally. Where is... Hey man. Hello. I'm just going to check where my parcel is. See. Alright, and they're paradoxically relaxing scents, says Dev. My parcel is at the National Hub. Oh no. love the sharpness of note de yuzu, says Dev. Is Dune good in high heat? Been yes since I've smelled it. Maybe it's not the highest of high heat because it's a little bit creamy, but it's got fizz as well. Yeah, I want to say yes. I wish Cuir d'Orange was easy to find where I live. Hermes doesn't ship to my country, says Spaced Out. Oh no. I'd rather wear Mugler cologne than L'Eau d'Essai, says Manly Sense. A Submarina Rolly can hit the spot. I'm not forward to wearing that later. It's been discontinued. Mental. All the fuck. My mate couldn't believe the Mugler counter when we walked past last week. She was like, where the fuck are all the Muglers? I'd rather wear Mugler cologne. The yuzu tree has the longest spines you ever saw. Need leather gloves to get at the fruit, says Tripler. Would you consider 80s feminine ambers a good bed scent? That you would fall asleep smelling some opium, cocoa, or Teatro alla Scala? Too rich. Too rich. Too thick, too heavy, too rich. To be wearing that shit before you go to bed. They're bed scents, but in the dry down. It's too much. Too much at the top. Fuck. Have you tried Zest de Gingembre by Healy? No. Did you eat the fruit? How is it? The bitterness of yuzu can be a bit much for me, says Manny Sense. Villaresi does some nice things with Neroli. Villaresi's brilliant, to be fair. Inedible, only juice and zest. Shitload of huge seeds. I got Burberry Touch from Amber Prada Amber. Do you? No. Dune is fantastic office scent in summer. Offices usually have ACs blasting anyway. Yep. Just wear some Tuscan leather to bed. Do not. That shit is massive. Might wear Paris Biarritz. The sprayers on these are shit. They're absolutely fucking criminal. Paris Biarritz is lovely though. This and Edinburgh are the best from the line. Fucking brilliant, Paris Biarritz. I think this might be a Berger Musk as well, if I'm not mistaken. What do we think? It's Paris Biarritz. It is tangerine, bergamot, orange, lemon, grapefruit, neroli, green notes, lily of the valley, white musk, and patchouli. So it is a Berger Musk. Not so easy to get a hold of Villaresi around here, Tripler, says Manly Sense, which is strange because Malta's right next to Italy. I genuinely abhor leather. Dev says, I genuinely abhor leather if it's not an old-timey, soft, feminine leather. Visotics 5 PK is wearing today. Alas, recently discontinued. Rich, do you want a bottle of Armani's original Eau pour Homme quintessential citrus aromatic? No, I don't. I had the chance to get one, but I don't. I prefer Good Life to Dune. It's cheerier. Ooh, I don't know if it's cheerier. I like Good Life, actually. It's massively overpriced. Massively overpriced, lads. But yeah. Good Life is nice, but I think I prefer Dune. I think Good Life's smells like a Twister ice lolly. It's lime and cream. It's like a creamy, limey sort of thing. It's a good fragrance though. I just don't think it's worth the vintage prices. Have you tried Renier frags? I haven't, says Dino. No, I haven't actually. Italian online store stopped sending stuff here a few months ago, Rich, unless I pay €35 courier shipping for one, but good lord. Just fucking cheaper to fly across Italy yourself, wouldn't it? Fuck that. Yeah, prices are nuts. Everything's fucking nuts at the minute. Shipping prices are insane. Rich, do you reckon you would enjoy a savoury gourmand fragrance? Huh. What, like a cheese savoury? Like a sandwich? Or a fucking, like a lettuce fragrance? Cucumber in fragrances? That seller in Kuwait charges $40 on every bottle, even when bundling. Bollocks. Yikes. Don't dick around. Go in big to the barbecue with Queer Canage. No, but I am looking forward to Queer Canage. We're at that point in the rotation now where I'm like having little intrusive thoughts about me darker fragrances and what I'm looking forward to. Like I'm starting to miss Balenciaga Pour Homme now, you know. Italian shipping prices are insane even for the neighbouring countries. Imagine Indian spiced rice. Well, there is a fragrance that has that, isn't there? Because I've smelled them. And they are fucking chronically overpriced. Have you seen the prices? I forget what the Affinescence. Affinescence is the name of the house. Criminally priced. A decent enough fragrance is nowhere near what they're asking for. There is that Serge Luton Jeu de Peau. There is that Serge Luton that smells like a pastry or something. Yeah, it's Jeu de Peau. It's a good fragrance, that. Eve. Hello. Hello, Eve. How are you? I know Eve from another place. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Here we talk about perfumes and fragrances. Biryani is delicious, says Pradeep. I'm not a fan of Indian food. I like Indian food, but it's just a lot going on, you know. Sultan Pasha's Basmati Rose does what Santal Basmati thinks it could do, but leagues better. I do rate Sultan Pasha, you know. I do think he is very good. Like, he's probably the best indie perfumer out there, or he's certainly one of them. Do you have a favourite female perfume? I certainly do. There is a fragrance called Féminité du Bois. It's sold by Serge Lutens now, but it used to be made by Shiseido. And it is plum and cedar, and it is beautiful. I also like Opium. I also like Rochas Femme, which is gorgeous. I have other ones. Apparently, this one right here, Herba Fresca by Guerlain, was marketed to women originally, but it's gorgeous. It's mint. It smells like mint. Oops, a daisy. And green tea. It's an absolutely sensational combination. Ashley Bissett, really love Indian food. Welcome, Ashley Bissett. Have you tried Beaufort's perfumes? I have. Indeed, I have. I mean, if you've tried Beaufort's perfumes, you'll know what I'm trying to say. Is Féminité du Bois still in good shape? Reformulated. It is reformulated. It's not as good as it was, but it's better than most perfumes. It's better than most perfumes that are around now. You know? I've got about 2 or 3 bottles of Féminité du Bois. I've got, that's just of the Shiseido version. I've got a couple of the older Serge Lutens versions as well. Hello, Rich. I saw you post about Herba Fresca and wanted a bottle immediately. It's fabulous. If you like mint, you'll love it. Mint and green tea. Fresh, watery. Beautiful. Beautiful perfume. Maggi Noir is a good feminine to be worn by men too. I've got a bottle of Maggi Noir. It's in a plastic bottle. Very weird. Pakistani pulao is a rice dish that'll knock your pantaloons off. Somehow every single one of their fragrances smells like boring iris, says Dev. Yeah, they're not great. They're not a great brand. I like Fathom 5 or Fathom V. Eau de Rochas is a good light fragrance, says John. I wore Metropolis yesterday, and there's in the heat. There's something under there. I don't know if it's the ambergris or if it's the oak moss, but there's something in there that gives it a bit of you know, It's got that sort of thing underneath. Kabuli pulao with grilled lamb, heavenly. Don't eat lamb. I don't eat lamb. They were my favourite animal when I was a kid because I lived near a farm and I used to love the old lambs. Eve has asked a question everybody here could answer. Nice. Curious where your passion about fragrances stems from. What draws you to it? Well, I've always liked fragrances. I found them quite stimulating and quite interesting. And I thought I was the only person in the world for a long time. For a very long time, I thought I was the only person in the world who was into fragrances as much as I was. And then I discovered that I wasn't. And that there's a whole community out there for fragrances and fragrance reviews. And there are websites like Base Notes and Fragrantica and YouTube reviews, and it's huge on Instagram and other social media sites like Facebook and things, but I'm not on those. I stick purely to YouTube, I should say. But I find them quite stimulating, and I became quite unwell a few years ago, and my mobility was limited. I'm better now, but I'm not healed. I've still got this illness, and fragrances, it's like a hobby. There's a lot to know about fragrances, you know. There's a whole world to be discovered about fragrances, and it's a lovely community as well. And it's beautiful. If it's something you're interested in, you will find people most accepting and willing to help, and it's a lovely place. It's something to keep your mind occupied, says Paroli. I agree. Hello, Rich. I saw you post. Oh, sorry, I've read that. It's so hot today, so Herba Fresca sounded perfect, says Hannah. It is. In the highest of high heat, I was talking about this before, my friend went to Tunisia and it was over 40 Celsius, and he said in that heat it's too much because it's got a little bit of thickness, you know, just a little bit. And he said it was too much. He said all you want in that heat is just citrus. But that could be for every mint fragrance. But you should definitely try it. You know, you should be able to get it from your local girl on counter. Excuse me. Oh, how hot can it get in the Great White North, Hannah, says Bob. French eat goat cheese and their milk out of their... Oops, sorry. Excuse me. Didn't mean to do that. Brody, that's an outrageous statement. You can't say that. French eat goat cheese and their milk out of their ass. It's just a figure of speech to say a lot, not literally. Do they use a straw, Brody? That's a strange custom. Fragrance cheers me up, says Adam. Yeah, exactly. It's an escape. Fragrances can take you to another time and another place, and if you just smell and close your eyes and you do these things at the same time, the fragrance will take you places inside, and that's what's so great about them. Have you tried anything from Matcha Premier, says Pat. I'm drawn by their concept of growing the material locally. I really want to try Radical Rose. Oh, mate, I've got bad news for you. I've tried Falcon Leather, and it's one of the worst things I've ever smelled. It's really terrible. Radical Rose, less bad. Not so bad. I've actually got the sample set, which I won from Deva. So I'll be doing a first impression series on that. And it will be fun, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took a bashing. But I would like to have my mind changed. The incense one, Jura Rose has talked up the incense one, saying it's really good, and I'm very interested in smelling that. My passion started around 2008, says Keith, when I was gifted a bottle of 1 million. It was my first exposure to something so modern. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Hannah says it was 30 Celsius today, so hot enough. That 30 Celsius is fine. 30 Celsius, you'll be fine. $15 tomorrow. That's ridiculous. That is something ridiculous. Keith says the intense hatred I felt when I found out that 1 million is what men wanted to wear nowadays set me on this path. He was a wronged man. He was wronged. I'm happy to say that I have no idea what 1 million smells like, says Paroli. Oh, God, you couldn't get away from it around, what, 10, 15 years ago? Huge. Cresp. Was it Olivia Cresp? He's got blood on his hands for that. That was a woof. Hell of a perfume, that. Also suave, that's it. Too sweet, apparently, says Brody. Papa Femo says, Parulli, you're not missing anything. I tried Encens Suave and I did not like it. Hideous 1 million bottle. 1 million was everywhere back in the day. Oh, rough as guts. It's mad to think that Dev was 5 years old when it came out, isn't it? That just knocks my socks off. Frightening. The fragrance that set me on this path of pretentiousness. Pretension is Azaro's Wanted by Night. Makes me laugh thinking that's what I considered peak at that time. We've all been there. We've all done it. And on that note, from Dev and from me, I'm going to sleep. It's 10 o'clock at night, yeah. I might watch RXL's stream if he doesn't delete it before I get to it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it, as always. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for donating. And I will see you all again soon. Good night.